is talking about a question related to the Gupta period. With reference to Gupta period, consider the following statements. The Gupta entered into matrimonial alliances with the Maurya dynasty of Deccan. This statement is correct. Women typically did not have autonomy to independently access resources such as land. So this statement is also correct. And some of the land grants were exempted from paying land revenue and other dues of the king. So who the king? Who the king? So dear students, all the statements 1 to 3 are correct. I have already explained during the Gupta period, there were regional variations in the signage of land donated, ranging from a small plots to vast stretches of uncultivated land, and the rights given to Drone, the recipient of the grant. The Agrahara, so this is also what to know, Agrahara was land granted to Brahmin. तो जो ब्राह्मण को जमीन भूदान दिया जाता था, भूमि दान, तो उसे अग्रहार कहा जाता था. ये भी क्वेश्चन आता है. Who was usually exempt from paying revenue and other dues to the king. तो वो land revenue free था. And the rent free, you may say, and the donee was often given the right to collect these dues from the local people. अब आते हैं एक अगले प्रश्न पर, और ये संगम एज से है. Consider the following statement with reference to the Sangam age of Indian history. Number 1, punch-marked coins were inscribed coins found over most of Indian subcontinent in the early times. Dear aspirants, you have to find this statement. You have to examine this statement whether correct or not. Punch-marked coins were inscribed coins found over most of Indian subcontinent in the early times. The second statement, Dasa Karmakara did not own. Okay, Dasa Karmakara did not own, dear aspirants. So, did not own land and worked on fields owned by others. तो ये आपने बताना है कि whether this statement is correct or not. Whether this statement is correct or not. तो इस प्रकार से ये काफी महत्वपूर्ण प्रश्न बन गया. A 1 1 B 2 1 B C both 1 and 2 and D neither 1 nor 2. You have to find out the correct statement. Punch-marked coins were inscribed coins found over most of Indian subcontinent in the early times. This statement is not correct with reference to Sangam age. Sangam age. Dasa Karmakara did not own land and worked on fields owned by others. This is correct. Statement 1 is incorrect because punch-marked coins were not inscribed but were stamped with symbols using dies or punches. Hence, they are called punch-marked coins. Punch-marked coins were generally rectangular or sometimes square or round in shape, either cut out of metal sheets or made up of flattened metal globules. These coins are found in most parts of the subcontinent and remained in circulation till early century CE. Statement 2 is correct. In villages, there lived Dasa Karmakara who did not own land and had to earn a living working on the fields owned by others. Large landowners were known as Vallalar, V-E-L-L-A-R, Vallalar, and they employed Dasa Karmakara. तो यहाँ पे एक बात और इस स्पष्ट हो गया. दासा कर्मकारा को जो इम्प्लॉय करते थे उनका नाम है वेल्लालार, VELLALLAR. सो डियर स्टूडेंट्स, ये भी काफी इंपॉर्टेंट प्रश्न था. अब आते हैं विथ रेफरेंस टू medieval India. कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग पेयर्स. डायनेस्टी, प्रेजेंट स्टेट. डायनेस्टी का मतलब गुर्जर प्रतिहाराज, और ये कहाँ थे? या मध्य प्रदेश में थे. राष्ट्रकूटाज वेस्ट बंगाल में थे. पालाज कर्नाटका में थे और चेराज केरला में थे. सो डियर स्टूडेंट्स, यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट हाउ मेनी ऑफ द above pairs are correctly मैच। तो एक बार मैच के पहले आप सुनिए कैसा है। गुर्जर प्रतिहारा मध्य प्रदेश, राष्ट्रकूटा वेस्ट बंगाल, पालाज कर्नाटका एंड चेरा केरला। सिविल सर्विसेज एकेडमी देवघर के द्वारा प्रत्येक दिन 7:30 से 8 बजे तक प्रसारण होता है, किंतु आज विद्युत बाधा के कारण 8:30 से 9:30, 9:15 जहां तक ये प्रश्न होंगे 10-15 वहां तक हम करेंगे। आप सभी इस चैनल पे आए, सब्सक्राइब करें और फिर लाइक करें। यदि ये निश्चित रूप से आपके लिए परिणामकारी है, चेष्टा तो है मेरी आपकी सफलता सुनिश्चित हो। आप लबासना जाए और फिर एक सक्सेसफुल सिविल सर्विस के रूप में आप कैरियर अपना बनाएं, ईमानदारी के साथ, कर्तव्यनिष्ठा के साथ। कंट्री को मांग है, आप देख रहे हैं परिस्थितियां कैसी है, किस प्रकार की परिस्थितियां। जीतने की ऐसी उत्कट आकांक्षा, अभिलाषा तो मैं नहीं कहूंगा, लिप्सा में जीतने की ऐसी उत्कट लिप्सा हो गई है कि वो मतगणना को भी डिस्टर्ब करना चाहते हैं। तो ये स्थिति है। वह ऐसे में आपका एक सक्सेसफुल सिविल सर्वेंट के रूप में निर्माण कौन करेगा, जो सिविल सर्वेंट रह चुका है। डियर स्टूडेंट्स, यही है उद्देश्य। निशा, गुड इवनिंग, वेरी गुड इवनिंग। तो आइए देखें ये प्रश्न, गुर्जर प्रतिहाराज कहाँ, अभी वर्तमान में कौन सा स्टेट है, मध्य प्रदेश, राष्ट्रकूटा वेस्ट बंगाल, पालाज कर्नाटका एंड चेरा केरला। डियर एस्पिरेंट्स, गुर्जर प्रतिहारा they originated from Gurjaraj, who were primarily pastoralists and fighters. The dynasty was founded by हरि चंद्र। ये भी आप जान सकते हैं कि गुर्जर प्रतिहार डायनेस्टी के जो फाउंडर थे, संस्थापक थे, वो हरि चंद्र थे एंड रूल्ड ओवर द प्रेजेंट स्टेट ऑफ मध्य प्रदेश एंड राजस्थान। तो पहला तो मैचिंग बिल्कुल सही निकल गया, दूसरा गलत है, क्योंकि राष्ट्रकूटा ये बंगाल में नहीं थे। राष्ट्रकूट मीनिंग द चीफ ऑफ कास्ट वेयर कंसिडर्ड फ्यूडेटरी ऑफ चालुक्य। ये चालुक्य के सामंत थे, फ्यूडेटरी थे। दंती दुर्ग फाउंडेड द राष्ट्रकूटा किंगडम। तो ये तो आप कभी नहीं भूलेंगे, दंती दुर्ग इन 753 AD and they ruled over parts of Maharashtra and Karnataka. महाराष्ट्र एंड कर्नाटका। तो क्वेश्चन में राष्ट्रकूटा के लिए वेस्ट बंगाल है, दिस इज नॉट करेक्ट। तीसरा भी इनकरेक्ट है, बिकॉज गोपाला फाउंडेड पाला डायनेस्टी इन 750 AD। Dear aspirants, Palas were followers of Mahayana Buddhism and Tantric Buddhism. They had close cultural ties with Tibet. The noted Buddhist scholar of their age, Sant Karist and Dipankar, were invited to Tibet. They introduced a new form of religion there. Palaj kingdom included Bengal and Bihar, which included the major cities of Patliputra, Vikrampura, Munger, and Tamralipti. Dear aspirants, चौथा जो है वो बिल्कुल करेक्ट है। क्यों? चेराज केरला, ये तो आप भी जानते हैं निश्चित रूप से। चेरा डायनेस्टी रूल्ड ओवर द साउथ वेस्टर्न रीजन ऑफ इंडियन सबकॉन्टिनेंट इन मॉडर्न डे केरला एंड तमिलनाडु, with its capital at Vanji, Malabar, VANJI, इसको आपको नोट करना होगा। Vanji, Malabar. Its territory is located west and north of Pandya. It had a bow and arrow sign. क्या इनका साइन था? धनुष और बाण as its emblem, और Sengu to one red chera. Sengu to one red chera was the most powerful ruler. He founded the Kanagi or Pattini cult, and Kanagi became an object of worship. Kanagi एक पूजा की पात्र बने। Dear aspirants, आइए अब कुछ पॉलिटी से प्रश्न आपको सुनाते हैं। हिस्ट्री से हुआ पॉलिटी ले लेते हैं। और आपने देखा 2023 के यूपीएससी प्रीलिम्स में एक ट्रेंड निकला, स्टेटमेंट बेस्ड क्वेश्चन, स्टेटमेंट आधारित प्रश्न। तो क्या है स्टेटमेंट? पहला, द प्रोक्लेमेशन ऑफ नेशनल इमरजेंसी, एक्सटर्नल इमरजेंसी automatically suspends the fundamental right guaranteed in Article 19 of the Constitution. Now you have to examine whether it is correct. Statement 2, Article 359 authorizes the President to suspend the right to move any court for enforcement of fundamental rights except Article 20 and 21 during national emergency. Which one of the following is correct in respect of the above statements? A, both the statements are correct, and 2 is the correct explanation of statement 1. B, both the statements are correct, but statement 2 is not the correct explanation of statement 1. Or C, statement 1 is correct, 2 is incorrect. Or D, statement 1 incorrect and statement 2 is correct. अब आप बताएंगे कि इसका आंसर क्या होगा। Dear aspirants, if you know, you should write it in chat box. If you are not knowing, the answer is B. Both the statements are correct, but statement 2 is not the correct explanation. And why do I say like this? Because Article 358 states that when a proclamation of national emergency is made, the 6 fundamental rights under Article 19 are automatically suspended. 44th Constitutional Amendment restricted the scope of this provision of external emergency only when national emergency is proclaimed on grounds of war or external aggression. In case of internal emergency on grounds of armed rebellion, fundamental rights under Article 19 are not automatically suspended. So here in that caution जो होता है, सतर्क हो जाना, ये काफी इम्पोर्टेंट है। Article 359, upon proclamation of national emergency, the President may at the same time or later issue a presidential order specifying the fundamental rights whose enforcement has been suspended. 44th Constitutional Amendment restricted the scope of this provision by specifying in the Constitution that Article 20 and 21 are 20 and 21 cannot be suspended even during a national emergency, that is external or internal. Therefore, in case of external emergency, fundamental rights under Article 19 are automatically suspended. No presidential order needed as per Article 358, while as per Article 359, President may suspend the right to move to court for enforcement of any fundamental right notified explicitly in President's order. So, dear aspirants, this is the full explanation of the question, and I hope you have understood it. Now, here comes the next question. Consider the following statements. Statement 1, the re-promulgation of ordinance with same text without any attempt to get it passed by legislature is liable to be struck down by judiciary. Statement 2, ordinance making power of governor is not a parallel power of legislation. तो ये ordinance chapter का है. If you have gone through the M. Lakshmikant book, Indian polity, then you must be you should answer right. I should say the re-promulgation of ordinance with same text without any attempt to get it passed by legislature is liable to be struck down by judiciary. Second, ordinance making power of governor is not parallel power of legislation. Which one of the following is correct in respect of the above statement? Dear aspirants, both statements are correct, and 2 is the correct explanation of statement 1. Okay. आर यू गेटिंग इट? दोनों स्टेटमेंट सही है और एक्सप्लेनेशन भी सेकंड स्टेटमेंट फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट का सही है. सुप्रीम कोर्ट इन डीसी बधवा केस held that the re-promulgation of ordinance without change in substance and without any effort to get it passed in the legislature amounts to a fraud on the citizens in violation of constitution, and such an ordinance is liable to be struck down. It held that the exceptional power of law making through ordinance cannot be used as a substitute for the legislative power of the state legislature. ऐसा है. इस एक्सप्लेनेशन से आप अवगत हो चुके, समझ चुके और बिल्कुल क्लैरिटी आप में आ गई. With reference to major judicial pronouncements of post-independent India, three statements. Number one, in Champak Dorai Rajan case, 1951, SC ruled that the DPSP have to conform to and run as subsidiary to fundamental rights in case of conflict between the two. DPSP, Directive Principle of State Policy. Dear aspirants, second statement, in Keshwananda Bharati case 1973, SC held that the Indian Constitution is founded on the bedrock of the balance between fundamental rights and the directive principles. And the third statement, in Minerva Mills case 1980, SC ruled that fundamental rights under Article 14 and 19 were subsidiary to DPSP mentioned in Article 39B and C. So how many of the above statements are correct? A1 only, B2 only, C3 only, D9. Dear aspirants, such type of pattern is started during the previous year, 2023 prelims examination. So in this MCQ, you will find that the second statement in Keshavananda Bharati case, he held that the Indian Constitution is founded on the bedrock. This statement is not correct, because in Keshavananda Bharati case in 1973, SC upheld the validity of Article 31C inserted by 25th Constitutional Amendment that gave primacy to DPSP in Article 39B and C over fundamental rights under Article 19 and 21. Also Article 31, right to property, latter deleted from fundamental rights by 44th Amendment. It, however, declared the Article 31C, which sought to restrict the scope of judicial review and constitutional. So, dear aspirants, this statement is not correct. So, our answer should be two statements are correct. That is 1 and 3. That is 1 and 3. Now, here comes a question. Consider the following statements. No person has occupied the office of president for more than 2 terms. Do you agree? Okay. Second, no person has occupied the office of vice president for 2 terms except Muhammad Hamid Ansari. Third, no vice president contesting the election for president has ever lost the election. Fourth, Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy is the only person to have unsuccessfully contested in a presidential election before finally elected as president. How many of the above statements are correct? 1 only, B2 only, C3 and D all 4. Dear aspirants, only 2 statements are correct. Third statement is not correct. Okay, and second statement is also not correct. No person has occupied the office of vice president for 2 terms except Muhammad Hamid Ansari. This is not correct. And no vice president contesting the election for president has ever lost the election. Let us examine. Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan and Muhammad Hamid Ansari are the only two vice presidents to have served 2 terms. Dear aspirants, the third is also incorrect. Dr. S. Radhakrishnan and Zakir Hussain, Venkat Raman, Shankar Dayal Sharma, and K. R. Narayan are 5 persons who were elected as president while serving as vice president. Sri V.V. Giri resigned from his position as VP before contesting the president. Bhairav Singh Shekhawat is the only sitting VP to have lost a presidential election. So, dear aspirants, Hidayatullah has earned the distinction of occupying the office of president temporarily when he was Chief Justice of India in 1969. He was not elected before being elected to office of Vice President in 1979. So these are the fun facts. These are the fun facts, dear aspirants. So let us move to the next question. And here we have, consider the following statements. The Constitution of India specifies the minimum number of ministers that a council of ministers in a state should have. The second statement, the Constitution of India imposes an obligation to have a minister for tribal affairs, welfare on all states having scheduled areas. Third statement, a disqualified member under 10th schedule. My God, this is what we. Okay, thank you. तो ये खुशबू आप लोगों तक भी जा रही होगी. आइए देखें. A disqualified member under 10th schedule of a state legislative assembly can be made a minister if he is re-elected to legislative assembly. Or fourth, a disqualified member under 10th schedule of a state assembly can be made minister if he is elected or nominated to a state legislative council. अब आपको बताना है कितने स्टेटमेंट सही है. Dear aspirants, second statement is not correct and fourth statement is also not correct. So second and fourth statements are not correct. Our answer should be two statements are correct. That is 1 and 3. Constitution of India imposes an obligation to have a minister for tribal affairs, welfare on all states having scheduled areas. No. And a disqualified member under 10th schedule of a state legislative assembly can be made a minister if he is elected or nominated to a state legislative council. This statement is also not correct. Dear aspirants, here comes a question, and this should be the concluding question of the day. Okay, let us see. Consider the following statement. Statement 1, a constitutional amendment act that abrogates, modifies or curtails a fundamental right cannot be challenged under Article 32. Second statement, Article 13 bracketed 2 declares that a constitutional amendment is not a law and hence cannot be challenged. Which one of the following is correct in respect of the above statement? Both his statements are correct and statement 2 is the correct explanation of his statement 1. This is the correct answer. This is the correct answer. So, dear aspirants, a constitutional amendment act that abrogates, modifies, curtails a fundamental right cannot be challenged directly in Supreme Court under Article 32, right to constitutional remedies. This is because the scope of Article 32 is limited to the term law as defined in Article 13, and Article 13 bracketed 2 explicitly exempts Constitutional Amendment Act from the definition. Such a constitutional amendment can be challenged for violating the basic structure of Indian Constitution, however, but this process is not governed by Article 32. Dear aspirants, अब यहीं पे आपसे विदा लेने का समय आ गया. 10 से अधिक प्रश्नों को आज हम लोगों ने देखा और विद्युत बाधा के बावजूद भी हम आपके साथ हैं, उपस्थित हैं। आप देखें किस प्रकार से ये एक साधना है। यूपीएससी की परीक्षा, एक निवेदन हम करेंगे, मानिए आज ही गूगल करें। अगर आपके घर में समाचार पत्र आते हैं तो गूगल नहीं करें। एडिटोरियल पेज के पास प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी का एक लेख है, ऐसे है, उसका लास्ट बट वन पैराग्राफ देखें, वो जीएस पेपर 4 है, उसे आप नोट डाउन कर लें। इंडिया का प्रोग्रेस क्या है, व्हाट इज रिफॉर्म, ट्रांसफॉर्म। ये रिफॉर्म ट्रांसफॉर्म की जो बात हो रही है उसका रहस्य क्या है? गुड गवर्नेंस है, लेकिन गुड गवर्नेंस और जितने भी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव डिसीजंस हैं वो कैसे प्रो पब्लिक प्रो सिटीजन हो रहे हैं। क्या है विजन मोदी 3.0 का? टुमारो इज काउंटिंग डे। आज मैं कह रहा हूं मोदी 3.0 होना है। देश ने निश्चित रूप से विकास किया है और इस देश की बागडोर को एक मजबूत केंद्र के सहारे ही चलाया जा सकता है। यह मेरा ही नहीं, सभी विद्वजन का विश्वास है। So let us see, let us hope tomorrow निश्चित रूप से उनकी मनोकामना जो संकल्प के साथ वो विवेकानंद जो रॉक है वहां पे समाधि लगाया उन्होंने, वो उनकी मनोकामना। डियर एस्पिरेंट्स, इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ पूरा भरोसा है आज के जो भी प्रश्न है वो आपने एंजॉय किया होगा, नोट किया होगा, सीखा होगा, समझा होगा। कल फिर 7:30 आएंगे, जरूर आएंगे। पर तब तक गुड नाइट टू ऑल ऑफ यू।